Tomodachi. And what does it mean? Friends. And how relevant is that to this piece? How was this piece composed? What's the story behind it? Anybody know? No. Okay. So the Detroit Chamber Music Society commissioned Samuel Barber, who was a major American composer, to write this piece for them. And Barber was in upstate New York, and he was leaving to work to compose this piece. And it was a really hot, sticky summer upstate New York, lots of flies, lots of humidity. And he happened to hear that the members of the New York Woodwind Quintet were up there doing some rehearsing. So he contacted them, and he said, can we just kind of hang out talking about writing this wind quintet piece? And they said, sure. So they went over, and they had their instruments, and they were talking about some things. And composers like to know what's good on an instrument and what's impossible on an instrument and all that kind of stuff, right? So Barber says to them, well, tell me what's really hard about playing in a wind quintet. What's hard on your instruments? What's hard about playing together? And they said, well, sure, we can do that. So they got a huge piece of paper. They started talking about different things, and Barber started writing them all down. And he made this huge chart of all the stuff that's really difficult to do on their instruments individually and collectively in the woodwind quintet. And he put them all into this piece. Okay? Now, I think if the New York Woodwind Quintet members had known that, they might not have been quite so forthcoming. And we can all hate them forever as a result. However, we get this great piece because what you need to be thinking about in here, just as your name says that you're friends, this piece is a very complex piece. And like the brass quintet, there are many things that you have to figure out about the voicing, about colors, supporting each other, coming up with blend and all of that. But you also have to know what's going on in the story. And it's a very complicated piece. Do you guys rehearse with a score on your stands, each of you? No. Okay, confession time. When I was a young player, the score, as far as I was concerned, was entirely unnecessary. Give me a good part, I need not know anything else. How many of you agree with that thought? Well, I did anyway when I was your age. And when my quintet first started working together, we bought scores, but we'd hand them to the coach, and that was about it. You know, we didn't look at them ourselves, really. You want to start really looking at the score because it tells you the story. It looks like it's a lot of work to wade through all these parts, but it tells you the story. It tells you things about where is your material coming from, who are you handing it to, who are you playing with. You start a phrase, maybe the two of you are together, and then in the middle, all of a sudden, it's two of you. And you need to know those kinds of things so that you can really, as friends, work with each other. The other detail to think about on this friends theme is that there's a tremendous amount in here that's very difficult for each of you individually. And you need to be aware when your colleague is suffering, literally. And you need to also make room for that colleague. So let's just look at one tiny example. Where do you have, okay. Let's look near the end, right before 31. 1, 2, 3, 4 bars before 31. Okay? Yeah, okay. All right, so you guys, what's happening at that spot? 4 bars before 31. So two of you, you're holding a note, the two of you are together. Is that all that's happening? Suffering like a dog over there. He is totally suffering. What has he got here? Like really low. Okay, can you play your really low? Let's just hear that for a second.
That right there.
Yes, just just starting with this, the mezzo forte. And play it so that's quite comfortable for you. What's your dynamic? No, that's okay.
Yeah.
What's your dynamic there?
Oh, well, it goes to piano.
It goes to piano right there. What was your dynamic before?
Mezzo.
Okay, so do you guys see that in the score here? So it's mezzo forte right here for him, and then he goes to piano. So you guys that are holding the notes, and also you're playing with him, you need to set your dynamic in such a place that he is going to be able to play this mezzo forte loud enough and comfortably enough without sticking out, way out, even though you guys are marked piano. You've got to support him enough so that he's mezzo forte there, and then he can jump down 2 dynamic levels to piano and still get that D flat to C, which is really hard. Play the D flat to C. Play it again. Of course. You can, anything you want to do. Okay, play it so that, it's a piano, it's what you're going for, but it's there. Go ahead and play it. Good, now play the place before so that's mezzo forte, 2 levels higher than that. Okay, let's have you guys now play that with him so that you're really supporting that level of mezzo forte. Changed, if anything?
Maybe a little more horn support.
More horn support on what?
Yeah.
Be specific.
The first one.
On the mezzo forte? Okay, let's try that. it just kind of puts a little bit of energy into the situation and just, again, gives the oboe more room. And how are you holding that note? Are you okay with that note? Yeah? Okay, so you really can do almost anything. So what you want to do is not sit here and go, oh, I'm sitting here holding this note, this is so boring. You want to instead listen to what's going on with them and think, how can I really support them? Do I need to bring the dynamic up? Or is he having like a magic read day and his dynamic is going to be softer than he has done before and I can actually bring it down? Which all of you guys want to do as well. You want to really give this thing like crazy. Let's try that again. He knows that you are absolutely with him, no matter what's happening. Because right now what we're doing is we're setting it so that he's very comfortable. Once he knows that you're really listening and you're gauging what you're doing to what he's got, then he's going to be able to take the risk to actually do what's printed and play it really soft. And know that you'll be with him, that if he starts the note, it isn't quite there, and he needs to do something else, you are with him. Okay? Can we just try that spot with you now really taking a bigger chance on the piano? Okay, let's go into this maybe a little bit. How about starting at 30? And really listen to each other with this kind of idea of just what is going on and who am I fitting with and how can I support that other person? Remember the friends thing and the idea of what Barbara did, putting all this really super challenging stuff in, right at 30. You're in and out a little bit.
Yeah.
We need you. Okay, let's try one other thing. Actually, two other things. So looking at the score, sorry, you guys all see that? So if you look at the score, you see starting here, you see this little bracket. What does that mean? You're important. He has a Kopfstimme. So the voice seems to pop out of the texture. So Barbara has marked this voice, so there's no mistaking it. So you've got the oboe first, then you've got the flute. Oh, I know. Back to the oboe. Where are you? You want to know? Oh, we're starting up here. Okay. So we start here. But when you have these voices popping out, they have to really pop out. Okay? You need to really hear them. But right now there's a little bit too much of a blend. So can we start, let's start right at 30. Because the oboe has it first, right here, right at 30. You have it? Yes? Okay? Do you guys have that? Let me look. Where's your music?
Yes.
You don't have the Hauptstimme is really marked
We
in
have
your
it
music.
when.
Oh, yeah, it's just right there.
We have
Right
it
here,
for
this
our
one,
side.
the little ones. Okay, so when you see those, okay, when you see those, that means for you to emerge out. Okay, so you want to project your sound just a little bit out. Let's try that right at 30. Excellent, much better. Okay, now let's do one last thing starting at 30. You guys, it says here tempo 1, and I think in the heat of trying to wade through all this stuff, you're losing a lot of tempo. So let's try it with you guys not losing tempo in this section. Let's see what happens if you do that, okay? So the bum, bum, ba, da, da. So 1, 2, this is the quarter notes, okay? Let's try that. So starting right letter and number 30. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Go with me. Let's just try it. I know this is against the way that you're playing it, but just try it, because we just want to see what happens. I know there's sostenutos marked in, but let's just do it right this way for right now, okay? 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Go with me.
'Cause the notes.
Yes. And the other correct answer is that at a faster tempo, he is suffering less, because it doesn't last so long. And the music is fitting together now much more. Can you guys try it one more time? And just again, let's just really go with this faster tempo. Actually, you want to lead it? Because you want, as a wind quintet, to really develop a huge bag of tools that you can use. You've got 5 very different instruments, very different timbres. Your sounds are even produced differently. You've only got 2 double reeds, everybody else is totally different. You've got all kinds of dynamic possibilities, and really exploit them. Don't just sort of stay in the middle range. So let's start once again at 30. And now this time, really do the dynamics that you have marked. And when you get to mezzo forte, let it be really a mezzo forte, especially like the da 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 da. And you really bring that out, okay, as if it was like easy to play down that low loud. So really do that, so that then you can melt into the allegando, that last bit with the oboe down solo. Let's try it one more time. So really dynamics now. Crescendo, crescendo. Yes. same thing. Now you're the one who's suffering like a dog, right? Okay, so you're my piano, you're my pianissimo, and then you come in at pianissimo also. Let's bring the dynamic level up for right now so that she really has room to really do what she wants. Not merely to say, oh, it's piano, you know, she's got to kind of chew on her reed and hope everything kind of squeaks out. You want to give her lots of room to really do it, okay? So let's start right at 31 and really let's lift the dynamic way up and give her lots of space. Okay, yeah, let's do it even more. Let's just, for the sake of practicing right now, we want to just really, we want to establish how you guys are working together. So much stronger. You have room to do whatever you want. Okay, and when you guys come in, it's fortissimo. You're supposed to be like just really incredibly aggressive, like, Barbara, what do you think you were doing writing all this hard stuff, but we finished and we won, sort of, right? So you want to have a real sense of jubilation. It's marked brilliant. Okay, does that give you enough room to do some stuff?
Yeah.
Okay, and then you've got a crescendo here, and then you've got a pianissimo. So you want that to come down. So you want to work with the group to do that. Let's do it one more time, starting at 31. Good. Okay, now let's do one more thing. Can you play that just a little more saucy?
Mm-hmm.
You know? It's just, it feels like you're being the reliable bassoon player. Can you just inject a little, you know, be a little outrageous?
Okay.
Could you, you know, like nail polish. Fabulous. Put that into your solo. Okay? Okay, let's do it one more time. Just really go for it. Don't play it safe. Okay? Yeah. Okay, good. Good working together. I want you guys to really take a lot more chances and study the score and figure out how to work together so you are really in there for each other. Because when you're on stage, you know, it's like nothing else exists. It's just you guys. And if you're buried in your own individual part and you haven't had these conversations and set up these ways of hearing each other, then the music shows it. And instead you want to just be a unit of one. Yeah? What grade are you guys at all in? Junior? Senior? Senior. Sophomore. Senior. Okay, so I guess this group won't be as pliant as it is next year, but you should be, it would be great. But work in this kind of a way, see what happens, okay? Thank you guys.